What are you doing Wednesday, March 29th, around 5 p.m. Pacific time? Because I'll tell you what we're doing. We're having another live patron hangout. This is where Jeff and I jump on cam, you guys jump on cam, and we all hang out live. It is a ton of fun. We really look forward to these every month. And if you haven't joined us yet, you can find out how at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
For the Irish.
Sláinte, everybody. This is We Have Concerns.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hi, Jeff Canada, and hello, concerned citizens.
I'm going to admit, right off the top,
Sure.
the first Chronicles of a Badass did not go well.
Oh, this was our gentleman who turned a car into a motorcycle when he could have walked to where he was going.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm determined to make this a recurring segment
All right.
on our show, Chronicles of a Badass. So I will submit Exhibit B, Exhibit A, had some flaws. I'll be the first to admit.
Okay.
I still think he was a badass, but Exhibit B comes to us from Alex Salinas, who sent it to wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com.
Alex Salinas is up there.
Oh, he is. He's close. He's real close.
I'm going to say next one.
Okay.
Remind me. Next one, Alex Salinas gets a nickname.
You got it. This is a fella, a South African surfer, so he's already Brock. We're already in Brock country.
Yeah, but we're going back to South Africa. South Africa did not do you so well in the first Chronicles of a Badass.
I want to give them a second shot.
They're pretty badass in South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. This guy's name is Chris Bertish.
Okay.
And he just did something no human being has ever done. He paddleboarded across the Atlantic Ocean.
Shit. Wait.
Paddleboarded across the Atlantic Ocean. Solo on a paddleboard, paddling.
What's the asterisk here? Because here's the deal.
Yeah.
First of all, how long did this take, Chris?
93 days.
93 days. Just him and a paddleboard.
4,050 miles.
Just a paddleboard, a simple paddleboard, and him.
Well,
90 days. How did he carry all the food and water he needed for 90 days?
Well, when you say
just
simple paddleboard. Well, when you say simple paddleboard, it's not exactly a simple paddleboard. This is a custom-made paddleboard that may have some floating inverted commas around it. It cost $120,000 to make this paddleboard.
Okay.
And 6 months to make it.
All right.
It is gigantic. It has an a compartment that you can like completely go into. What do they call those? Like a
cabin?
Yeah, a cabin. It's got a cabin on the paddleboard.
So it's a boat.
Well, it's got electronic equipment. It's got lots of supplies.
It's a boat.
But it does not have a motor or a sail. So it is completely...
Fine, I didn't call it a motorboat or a sailboat. I called it a boat.
Paddle-powered?
It's a boat. It's a rowboat.
Yeah.
He took a rowboat, which is still
an amazing thing.
That's still very exciting.
And he stood while paddling it.
I can stand in a rowboat if I choose to.
Yeah. 2 million strokes, they estimate him paddling.
Here's this. Here's this, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Rowing across the Atlantic Ocean. Very impressive.
Yes.
Definitely a badass.
Right.
What made Chris Bertish decide he needed to call this a paddle boat rather than a rowboat? Was it for the express purpose of setting a paddle boating record and not a rowboating record?
Probably. No one had ever paddleboarded across the Atlantic. I'm guessing some fools had already rowed. Nobody had ever paddleboarded across the Atlantic
I would
before.
argue that maybe nobody ever has still.
Well,
maybe that is still a true statement.
In fact, a Frenchman by the name of Nicolas Jorasset tried to do this a year ago.
Yeah.
He got exactly one night into the endeavor before he had to be rescued.
Did he take a real paddle boat? That's probably why.
That's probably what the lesson was learned.
He probably took a real paddle boat and he was like, fuck!
I will try it, and all I need is this paddleboard and some baguettes, and I will be fine. Oh, merde. Oh, I'm sinking. Oh, boy.
Nicolas!
Oui!
What are you doing?
I am sinking on my paddleboard. I think I may have put on too many baguettes.
Why would you have paddleboard? You're trying to go across the Atlantic Ocean.
What? Oh,
you stupid man.
I am very stupid. Can you take me onto your motorboat? It seems so much easier.
Yes, of course. But by the way, this is not a motorboat. We call this a yacht.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
But this gives me an idea. You call a yacht just a motorboat. You see what I'm saying?
I'm seeing what you're saying. Words can be whatever we want.
You can make anything mean whatever you want. Also, you can use whatever accent you want to be from anywhere.
And that's very good. So you're saying it's you take something away from our friend Chris here, our South African friend Chris.
I don't take anything
You're
away.
stealing his accomplishment.
I'm saying,
even though he paddled over 4,000 miles.
I'm saying, anybody who can row 1,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean, 1,000, 4,000?
4,000 miles.
Anybody who can row 4,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean, come on. That's a badass.
That is a badass. That's a badass.
What I am taking away is the title of paddleboard. That's what I'm taking away. Because it wasn't a board, it was a boat. If you can go inside something, it's not a board. A board is flat.
Yeah.
A board is a flat, solid construct.
Right.
There's no such thing as like a camping skateboard.
Although, we really should make a camping skateboard.
There's no such thing as a camping skateboard.
That's so awesome.
Camping
skateboard.
It's a camping skateboard, really more of like a street board. It's not really like a trick board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more like a longboard. Like,
Yeah.
you're not like,
it's very long
you
board.
don't want to take a camping skateboard
Yeah.
to the skate park.
You don't want to ollie in a camping skateboard because you
No.
will upend your camper stove.
No,
You'll get
it's a fire
flammable
hazard.
gas everywhere.
It is a fire hazard to try to like do like a 180 kickflip.
Not a good
on a
idea.
camping board.
And don't even get me started about an
pop shove it?
pop shove it, inverted. I don't know. Skateboard term.
An inverted skateboard term. It's like a regular skateboard term, but it's you read it in a matter.
You
in
just
a
said pop
mirror.
shove it because of video games.
I said pop shove it because of video games, and 180 kickflip because it was as far as I ever got in learning to skateboard. You can't. Similarly, I cannot remove everything but like the bottom of a car and the wheels and continue to call
Turn
it a
into
car.
motorcycle.
Yeah, it's just.
So if this guy had just said he paddled across the Atlantic,
Yeah.
is that less cool than paddleboarding across the Atlantic? I mean, paddleboarding conjures a very specific image
Yes.
that he did not do.
Paddleboarding is something that like lame couples do
What?
on like a resort
Paddleboarding is
vacation.
delightful.
You did it with your wife,
Of
didn't
course.
you? At a resort vacation.
It was delightful.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's something that's just like, oh, we're gonna see nature and like, oh, we're paddling and there's a bird and like,
It's a great core workout.
It's a wonderful core workout, I'm sure.
It is. You get out into the sea.
Yeah.
You can look at sea life and you can take in that salty sea air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. And
then,
your core.
and then if it gets too sunny, you go down into your private cabin inside your paddleboard.
Yeah.
And you have like you eat some food that you brought along with you that you store inside the paddleboard.
Right. Next to your
Maybe you
sleeping
play
bag.
a board game that you brought in the paddleboard. You get one of those tables that looks like a regular table, but then when you open it up, it holds board game pieces inside the paddleboard.
Right, yeah, that paddleboard.
That paddleboard. It's the deluxe paddleboard.
The really bad thing is if you go to this dude's website and,
Yeah.
and he talks about how he's going to do it, it shows a picture of him on a traditional paddleboard. He's like standing on a traditional
This guy is all marketing.
He's a little marketing.
This guy is all marketing. He said paddleboard. I knew it. He said paddleboard for a reason. He said paddleboard because you and I, and probably most of the people listening to this show, think about paddling a boat across an ocean.
Mhm.
And we think, holy shit,
Right.
how could anyone accomplish this? But thinking in terms of world records and news cycles, there's something we don't know. There are probably, I'm going to say 10 people who have paddled across the Atlantic Ocean.
Road, yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. We have no way of knowing.
We have no way of knowing. There's literally no way to look this
There's
up.
no way for us to do that.
Unless we were a reporter
Yeah.
with access to reporting tools.
Unless we've been around the Atlantic Ocean just all the time watching to see who's been rowing.
There's no way to know what happens in a place unless you are constantly at that place.
Right,
And we know that.
We don't have that kind of time.
We don't have that time. We don't have the technology.
No.
There's no way to do it.
There's no way for us to know.
I wish we could know.
If there was a way for us to know, we'd know.
We'd know. We would know, but we don't.
Because there
but
isn't.
we don't because there isn't. So like there are probably 10 people. Do you think 10? I'm going to say 5.
Well, you just said 10.
I'm thinking 10, but that probably means 5 because I tend to think of things as easier than they are.
Well, do people do it? Here's the question, and this may even refer to Chris's situation. Do people do it if someone's already done it?
No.
Because people swim the English Channel even though other people have done it.
Once you do it, well, there's certain things that you do, and I think you hit on one of them. There are a few, right? It's climbing Everest,
Right.
swimming the English Channel,
Right.
speed running Super Mario Brothers 3.
Right. The hardest things a human can do.
Just these feats of human conditioning
Right.
and excellence
Right.
that we all think of.
You have to prime your body and your mind.
Peeling a tangelo without getting any of like the pulpy, like the crufty bits
Yes.
on the tangelo and just getting like just those sweet tangelo slices.
Yeah. Finishing a Rubik's Cube.
Finishing a Rubik's Cube at all ever. No one's done it.
No one has.
Only 10 people have ever finished a Rubik's Cube. Maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. I'm saying 10, but I tend to think of things as easier than they are.
Yeah.
So there are things that people do just to be added to the pantheon of people who have done them.
Yeah.
Clearly, this was not enough for Chris.
Right.
Chris said, no, I got to be the first to do something.
And to be honest, paddleboards haven't been around that long. Right? Paddleboards are a relatively new thing. I mean, I'm sure the Hawaiians were using something that we would call a paddleboard for a long time, but I think the common conception
you mean the co-opting of paddleboarding is a relatively new thing?
Yes.
The stealing of paddleboarding.
The commercialization, the idea of when you say paddleboard, I have a very specific thing in my head, hasn't been around that long. Like when I was a kid, nobody paddleboarded.
Sure. Maybe hippies.
Hippies were probably
Maybe
paddleboarding.
fucking hippies.
That was just called getting on a surfboard with a stick.
Yeah, and that's cheating, is what we called that when I was a kid. This guy cheated his way across the Atlantic Ocean.
I should point out real quick.
What am I going to do, Johnny? Surf to New Zealand? Yeah, you better. You better.
Before we get too far down the rabbit hole of dissing Chris and Bertish and his achievement.
We're not dissing, but go on.
I should point out he did this for charity. He was raising money for charity.
So savvy marketing plays into it.
Indeed.
So being the first to paddle across the Atlantic Ocean while raising money for charity, obviously you want to grab those news cycles. That's a pretty badass way to go about it.
I think so. I think this is a legit badass. And I think the idea of 2 million strokes over 93 days, that is... By the way, just being out alone.
Just getting in a boat makes me tired.
Yeah. Just being out alone in the sea.
Dealing with the boat rental guy.
You got to wake up the next day and come out of your little cubby hole and go, what am I doing today? Oh, right. I'm more paddling.
Did he have some sort of boat following him or like a safety crew?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
I don't know if he had them
You're like, are you going to dock him points for that?
Yeah. I don't know if it was the entire time, but he certainly did over large stretches.
Well, because here's the thing. You go to bed in your little cubby hole at night, and you're going to drift, and you need to know where you drifted to.
Right. Well, he also has a lot of electronics on this thing, like positioning, GPS type stuff.
Sure.
Which I don't dock him for that, because if you just paddle toward the sun, you're fucked.
Yeah, don't do that. It's badass to be properly prepared in certain ways.
Right.
Yeah, this guy's a badass. Yeah.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll allow it. What's the farthest you've ever paddled in a boat?
Oh, dear God. Very, very. You know how when you're at a delightful resort vacation and you and your loved one look out and you see another couple who has decided to rent one of those things you sit on and you pedal and it paddles you across the lake?
Yeah.
And you go,
Pedal
oh my
boat,
gosh,
yeah.
Doesn't that seem delightful? Let's also rent that. And then you walk down the beach and you go to the little kiosk and you go, how much to rent one of those delightful sitting paddle boats? And they go, oh, that'll be $127 for an hour. And you're like, Jesus God. But then you look at your loved one's eyes and you see that it would be a romantic, sweet time to spend both careening down the lake together, holding hands and looking wistfully into each other's eyes. And you say, you know what? I'm going to spend that $127 and I'm going to take that hour trip. And then you do, and you put down your hard-earned money that you made podcasting, and then you get out onto the lake and you sit in the paddle boat and you paddle for exactly 37 seconds. And you realize this is neither fun nor easy nor relaxing. It is hard goddamn work.
Yeah.
And you've gone very, very little distance and your legs are starting to burn and you're sweating under the sun. And all you want to do is jump in the water and not be on this thing.
Was it shaped like a swan?
No. I've never been in a swan one. That might make it better.
And you keep saying paddle, but you mean pedal.
I mean pedal when I say paddle.
Yeah.
But the pedal's paddle. The pedals paddle.
Yeah.
It's a paddle.
The chalice from the palace has the brew that is true.
Exactly.
Yeah. The vessel with the pestle has the pellet that is poison.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you done that before? Have you
a paddle boat?
Yeah.
A few years ago, my wife and I had decided that we were going to go kayaking with some friends down the Russian River.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, because that's the thing you do when you live in Northern California. You go to the Russian River and you do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were the worst because it's one of those 2-person kayaks, and you've got to like row in sync to keep the boat going straight. And it just it was the same
Vikings.
thing. Yeah, and it was the same thing where it was like, oh, this will be fun and it'll be cute and we'll go down the river. And within like 15 seconds, we were like, no, you're rowing wrong. No, I'm tired. No, I'm doing all the work. No, we're going left. We're going left because of you. We're supposed to be going right. I'm tired. I hate this boat.
There's a reason the Vikings used slaves for that.
Yeah.
It's because no one wants to do that. No one likes doing that.
Yeah. But oh man, those slaves would fight over it. I'm rowing right. You're rowing. No.
You stop. Everybody stop. Don't stop.
Okay. We're trying to get in sync here.
We're just trying to organize. No organization, just go. Oh, Jesus, this guy.
You know those Russian Vikings. A word. Hey, hello. It is me, another Viking as well. Bjorn, how is the boat going?
It's pretty good.
They're great. We are all now Vikings together.
Oh, I love being the Vikings.
I call this a paddle boat.
Words
can mean whatever you want.
We're not slaves. We're just indentured servants.
Wait, a second ago weren't you the person whipping the slaves, and now you are a slave?
No, I can be whatever I want.
Words.
Accents. That's just called sloppy improv is what that's called. So in the context of how the ratio of how much I want to do the thing to how hard the thing becomes to how long I last actually doing the thing.
Yeah.
I have more respect for this guy doing it for 93 days straight, paddling his ass across the Atlantic. I mean, there's sharks, there's waves, there's heat, I guess he can go under his little bungalow and hang out. How many days of the 93 he was just like, I'm taking a day off.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lay out.
Just like wind and current are sort of in my favor today. I'm going to go play some Breath of the Wild. I'll be back in 3 hours.
See, that's the nice thing about the Switch. So you can take it anywhere.
You can take it anywhere. You snap the controllers in.
It's perfect for your underground cubby on your paddleboard.
Guys, Chris Bertish, badass or not badass?
I think this is the one. I think we finally got on the right track.
Has Jeff successfully made Chronicles of a Badass a thing? Let us know on Twitter. So. I'm at acarbody.
I'm at Jeff Cannata. And if you have more badasses that you would like chronicled, you can always send them to our attention at the wonderful email address, wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com, or visit our subreddit, post them there for other badasses who listen to this show to check out. That's wehaveconcerns.reddit.com.
And if you're allergic to Reddit, the lovely RJ Baxter just created a We Have Concerns Facebook group. So you can also go there. That's facebook.com/groups/We Have Concerns. You can also just look up We Have Concerns podcast on Facebook.